Hello everyone, welcome back to another Procreate tutorial. Today we're going to be doing a sketch that I did. I'm going to show you how I've been doing a couple of pictures that I've done recently. It's kind of a new technique for me, but it seems to be working really nice and I've got a lot of good comments on it. So I wanted to continue that and actually show you guys how I'm doing it. Alright, so let's get started. So here's my sketch. If you have got the sketch, go ahead and load it up, and we're going to ink over this. So I am going to use my Camel Inker Streamliner here. Alright, and we're going to just use black, so make sure it's all the way in the corner right there. And basically, let's just start inking this guy in right here. So that is way too big. I'm going to bring that down to about 8-9%, somewhere around there. And so I'm going to try to be getting some thick to thin lines in here. So we'll go ahead and put in his, I don't like how that worked out. I think I'm going to do this where it's going to go up and then over. There we go. And I'm just going to blacken that in for his nose hole. Okay, let's see. We'll do the mustache part right here. Okay. And just going to do a little jagged mustache here. It don't have to be perfect, just to simulate a hair texture here. Alright, and this is going to be his kind of lip and mouth here. Actually, I'm going to bring that towards me. Alright, and I held my pen down to get a nice curve on that, and then we're going to connect these two right here. Okay, let's see, what's next? We're going to go ahead and continue this. It kind of blends into the mouth and mustache in a way. So I'm just going to kind of wiggle it all the way down here. Alright, and then we can get this beard started here. So I'm just, again, going to just put little jagged edges and shapes in here to simulate hair. Okay, and I think we'll just have it go all the way up here and touch the ear over there. Alright, so under his lip, we're going to have this kind of skin color here, but the beard is going to continue right here. I'm just going to do the same thing, just simulating hair texture here. We'll connect it to the mouth right there. Alright. Okay, so we can, I'm going to go ahead and put this ear in right here. So I'm going to hold my pen down to get a nice curve. And then we're going to come up with the earlobe here. And we'll connect it there. I'm going to make sure that this is the same width when it connects. Alright, and then we're going to have a thin to thick right there. Alright, and let's see, we're going to come down like that, kind of a straight line, and then down like that. Actually, I don't want that thick, and it's come up from there. Alright, that's kind of good. And then maybe curve it up like that. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to start off really thin and then connect it right there. Alright, and then up here, inside of the ear, I don't want it really complicated, so I'm going to go off of my sketch here and just put that like that. I think that's enough. Okay, let's get this hair coming in from out of his hat here. So let's do, and then the beard kind of connects in right there. And then it's going to connect here to the mustache. So I'm just going to have that kind of connect right there. All right, that's good. And then let's do this rounded portion of the nose here. So I'm going to start off thin up here, and then we're going to kind of just get thicker as we go around. I'm going to hold my pen down and make sure we get a good rounded edge right there. All right, I think that's good. So all of these little lines here just kind of texture marks. So I want this hair to, so you can put lines. So we're not going to be dropping in too many colors here, so it doesn't really matter that it's closed or not. Kind of like my other cartoon drawings. So we just want some kind of textures here to simulate hair again. So I can just do it like that. And then up, maybe it's going to be curling up here. And then maybe going up like that. All right, and then this is going to be coming from under the hat here. All right, and then again, like all of these little lines here, is going to be simulating hair texture. And the thing about this new, it's not a new technique actually, it's just a new style that I am kind of exploring. So with my cartoon stuff that I usually do, the lines are like perfect, you know, and I'll keep doing them over and over until they're perfect. But on this one, you kind of want that irregular lines. I think it gives it more character in this style. So that's what I've been doing lately, and I have to kind of force myself to do it because I'm so used to trying to make those lines perfect all of the time. And in this style, we don't need to. All right, we're going to have this come down right there. Actually, hold on a second. All right. So the reason I confused myself is we have a wrinkle right here that's coming up higher, and then this is the mustache. So we want the hair kind of jaggies on this part, but this line is just kind of a wrinkle, so that can be more straight. And I'm going to take off that, and I want this to meet up with the nose. All right, that's good. All right, let's do his eye here. So I have a kind of a droopy eye, like that. And let's see, we have the eyeball here. And then coming over like that. Okay. All right, and then we can put in the pupil here. Just gonna hold my pen down to make a nice oval, and then kind of drag it until I get the size I want. I think that's good enough. And then we're gonna do some little wrinkles here. So when I do these wrinkles, they're always like thin to thick to thin. And then we got some wrinkles coming down right there. So actually, I want this gap in the nose to be a little bit bigger. So it's kind of hinting that that is one line, but it's kind of broken up. Right, and then we have another wrinkle here. Another one here. Actually, I didn't like that one. Here, right there. And then we're going to have one coming down like that. All right, and then he's got like little crow's feet here on the edges of his eyes. So just little thick to thin lines. This eye, we're going to see the lid, but we're not going to see the eyeball itself because it's being hid by his nose. And again, those are just wrinkles coming down. All right, and then we got a bushy eyebrow here. Oops. So here we go. And then this right here is the kind of upper part of the eyelid or something. Okay, I think that's good. Maybe we'll put a little wrinkle here. All right, and then let's do this bushy eyebrow here. All right, and maybe some little texture lines here. Maybe we'll put some over here on this side too. So just about like that, not too much. Okay, and then let's do his hat right here. The hat's gonna be right there. Okay, and then this is gonna be the kind of the forehead coming up right there, and then we got some wrinkle lines up here. I don't like that cross one, so we'll leave that one off. Okay, let's continue the hat here. And then I want to make sure that that's wider when it starts. We'll do that, and then we'll have like a little tassel here on the end. Looks like he's still got his sleep cap on. And then we'll put some hair lines right here. Maybe it's a fuzzy tassel. All right, and then we can do that again. Just like that, and then we'll connect these two here. And again, like I said, doesn't have to be perfect. This style is a little more loose. Okay, and then let's get this part right here, and we'll have some lines. Maybe like that. All right, got his head done. All right, so this body shouldn't take too long. So he's gonna have a collar right here. Go up right there. See, this is gonna come down, and then his shirt is gonna come up like that. Okay, that's good. And then we'll just continue this line down right here. Okay, and his arm over here, we'll do kind of break that up a bit maybe. Yeah, I don't like that actually. I want it to be kind of separate. Kind of like that. There we go. I like that better. And then we'll have a fold right there. Okay, and then this part, we'll break that up a bit. What I mean by breaking up is just not having a continuous line. Kind of like that. Just look like wrinkles in there. Alright, and then it's going to have like a little cuff. Okay, and then his hand. A finger there, a finger there. We'll have that connect up. Another thing about this kind of new style that I'm exploring is the limbs are really thin on these characters, which makes it easy for us actually. It's easier to draw than trying to draw proportionate limbs, because we all know how difficult hands are to do. Okay, so he's got a little belly on him there, a little pot belly. Have that come up right there. All right, maybe we'll have some buttons. So I'll hint at little buttons there. All right, and then we're going to have this. Maybe right there. So doing this, just kind of breaking it up, it makes it look so much better than just having a straight arm if I did this. So you can tell it just looks so much better when you do it like this. And it's really easy to do. You just have things overlap. Maybe not like that, but like that. Okay, that's going to be a sleeve, and then we'll put in some wrinkle lines here. Maybe like that. Okay, and then this hand right here, I'm going to have it come in like that. We're going to have like a palm, and then another one on that side. And then a finger like that. I'll have this one coming in around. Oops, not like that. Like that, and then a knuckle, and then maybe a thumb. Okay, that's good. Let's do his pants. And you can see how thin his legs are. And that's what I was talking about. Okay, and then these pants are going to come over like that and come to right there. And then up to there. All right, and then he's got some slippers on here, so he had a sleep cap on, so I wanted to put some slippers on him too. And again, I'm doing this where it's not perfect, so it's wider here and thinner there, because that's what makes this kind of style looks a little bit cooler, I think. So I'll put a little ankle there, and then we'll do this foot down to there. All right, and that's about it. That's the inking done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move into the coloring process. So what you're going to do is you're going to start a new layer under your sketch, just like that. All right. And I guess let's go ahead and color his skin color first, because that's probably going to be in the very back. So for a palette, so I made this palette for the girl in the yellow jacket that I did, but I'm going to use this skin color here, which is kind of a darker skin color. Now, the way that I've been doing this recently is I've been selecting it like that. So all of the skin color. Now the eyebrows and stuff will be over the skin, so we don't worry about that for right now. But I'm just going to make sure that my selection is here in the middle of this black line, so the color will be filled in good. All right, and let me see what we're going to do here. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the mustache too. At least the lip right here. We want to get that skin color in there. So I'm going to go all the way down to there, and then we're going to bring it down to there. Now all of this is going to be beard, which is going to go over it, so I can kind of just go over this actually. Now we want the ear, so I'm going to come back here and start tracing around the ear with this selection. All the way up to about right there, and then we'll just cut it over here where the hat's going to be. And I'll just take this all the way across, following along that hat, and then we can end up right there where we started. Okay, so we've got that whole face selected. We got the correct color. I'm going to use a chalk filler. So this has got a little texture to it. Make it really big. Make sure I'm on the correct layer, and I am. And now we're just going to put in this skin color. Okay, so we got the face done. I'm going to go ahead and do the hands now. The same thing. I'm going to freehand the selection. I'm just going to trace around this hand. If you mess up your selection a little bit, it's okay. You can go ahead and erase it later on. Okay, there's our hand done. I'm going to use the same brush. We're going to fill that hand in. I'm also using a paper texture. So that's why it's giving that, you see that it looks like it's on some kind of mixed media paper or something like that. All right, his skin right here under the neck, that's going to be a skin color. So, okay, the same thing, I'm going to fill that one in. All right, and then this hand here, I messed that up, so I undid it. It's good when you trace this is to make sure you stop and start and stop every once in a while. That way, if you have to undo, you don't have to do the whole thing over again. Oh no! Like that. Now I go to my brush. So you see I was able to undo that selection. Okay, and then the feet. So we're going to trace out these feet. And maybe I can get them all in one shot. All right. And to the heel, this one. And then back to the beginning. Okay, there's our selection of the feet. And we're going to go to our brush. Put that in, and we've got our skin color done. All right. And now that that's on a separate layer, now we're able to shade this in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start a new layer on top. I'm going to set the blending mode to multiply. All right. And then I'm going to clipping mask so it'll only draw on that skin. And now we can go ahead and shade in the areas that might be in shadow. So I'm going to assume my light's coming in from the top left, which I normally do. And we don't have to change our color because the multiply is going to make it darker. All right, so I'm going to think the bottom of the earlobe's probably going to be in some shadow. Probably that edge of that ear right there. I'm going to make my brush a little smaller because the inside of this ear is definitely going to be in shadow. All right, so about like that. Under the neck is going to be in shadow, so we're going to hit that with some shadows. All right, probably the bottom of the nose, if our light's coming in up here, somewhere around, make that a little bit bigger, somewhere around that much maybe. And then under that fold there is going to be darker. And we're going to have the hair coming over that shadow, so that's not going to show up actually. So we'll have to shadow that hair in again. So I'm just going to add in some here at the bottom of the mouth. So something like that. All right, and then let's see where else would there be some, maybe under the eyes right here. And under some of these folds. You'll probably have some shadow. And you can zoom way out. That way you can kind of look at it. It's always better to look at it from far away. If it looks good far away, it's going to look good close up. All right, and then under this eyebrow is probably going to have some shadow in it, so we're going to do that, probably all along the top of the lid right there. Up to about there, and then maybe some of this eyelid. We'll do a little bit. All right, it's just the initial shadows. We're probably going to add more later on. I'm going to do the under this eyebrow and right there, maybe some of these wrinkles here. All right, I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to turn the opacity down a little bit. I'm going to do some right here along the edge of this cap. So that cap might be casting a shadow onto his head right there. Alright, maybe under the nostril right there, possibly there, right here for this line. Okay, I think that's a good start. And then, okay, so the bottom of the hand here is going to be in some shadow because the light's coming in from the top there. And then maybe the bottoms of these fingers here. I'll make my brush a little smaller. We're going to get under these fingers here. Maybe that line and this line. Okay. Now this hand here. So a lot of it's going to be in shadow. That light's going to be coming here. It's probably going to light up the edge of that hand right there. And then the same thing for these feet. We're going to be kind of that much. Just the tops of them. Just like that. Okay, so for the initial shading, I'm happy with that. We'll leave it like that for right now. Let's color in his eyeball. So I'm going to pinch those two together because I'm pretty happy with those shadows. We'll leave them like that, and we can fix some things later on. So I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to go to white, and I want some texture in this, so I'm going to color this in with a 6B pencil. And we're just going to color that in white. Okay, and this is kind of different from the cartoon things that I did. So usually we drag and drop it and make sure it's solidly white and there's no gaps. But in this, we kind of want those gaps. So it's going to give us a little texture and stylized stuff to it. So you can see there's some spots that didn't come through all the way, which is fine. That's what we want. All right, so there's his eye. All right, and then we can, and we're going to try to do a little gray, and let's see. That puts a little bit of shadow on the bottom of that eye. Yeah, I think that's good. And then along the top too, maybe. There we go. Yep, I like it. Okay, we're going to put those together now, so we'll free up a layer. And let's color in his, I guess his hair next. It's going to have some gray. Let's see. I wonder how dark. Well, I can change the opacity on it if I don't like it. So let's start a new layer for the hair, and we're going to again freehand it where it's selected. Oops, that's not selection. Freehand. Okay. Now let's go to our brush, and I want to do the filler brush again. All right, we'll make that bigger all the way up. And let's paint in that gray hair. All right, I think that's it. Yep. Okay, and then his eyebrows. We got to get the eyebrows in there. So again, you got that one done, and then you can also select two. Just make another selection. All right, and then follow all the way up to there. Okay, so then we have our two selections. Go to our brush and color those eyebrows in right there. Okay. All right, so we're going to do a layer on top of the beard, and we're going to set it to multiply. And we're going to set it to clipping mask. We've still got that same gray color selected, so we're going to put in some shadows. And I'm going to go to an oil shadows brush. You can just get some texture brushes to add this kind of stuff in. So thinking about the light where it's coming in, so all the bottom of this beard is probably going to be shadowed. So at least along the bottom here to about right there, and then some of that light might be coming in now. The same thing on the bottom of the mustache here. We can go ahead and darken that up a bit. Under the nose for sure. The nose is going to be casting a shadow. So somewhere around there. All right, and then on this side here, just hit it like that. All right, and then I'm going to do some of these lines here. And actually, I have a oil hair brush, which might give it some more kind of line texture. Yeah, you can see you got a little bit of lines through there. It might make it look better. All right, so we'll do it like, put some texture lines like that, and then some on the eyebrows here. So the tops of the eyebrows are probably going to be in the sun or in the light. So we're going to do the bottoms here. And I'm still using that hair shadow oil brush. And I'm going to do the bottom of this one using that same brush. All right, so that's good. So we've got the shadows on the beard. All right, and what we can do next, let's do his hat next. So I'm going to put those beard layers together. We're going to start a new layer, and it's going to be on top of the beard, and we're going to do the hat. All right, so I'm going to do my selection again. There we go, we got the hat done. All right, so I'm going to choose maybe that red color right there. And then the brush is going to be this chalk filler. Okay, that's a nice red. You might want to unsaturate that a bit. But yeah, I think that looks good. It's really contrast. So what I could do is just go to the little adjustment magic wand there and go to use saturation. And then we could just see what color it looks good. blue, purple, red, brown, green. That brown doesn't look too bad, but I don't want it to be that close to his skin. This green color is not bad too. Well, the blue looks pretty nice too. Decisions. Maybe if we make it that red and desaturate it, so it gives it kind of a maroon color. And we can kind of darken it a bit. Yeah, maybe I like that. We'll see. We'll apply it for now. All right, and what we're going to do is create a new layer on top of that. We're going to, again, multiply it, and we're going to clip it to the hat. And then let's get in some of the shadows here. So on this side of the hat, actually, let me move to my oil shadow brush. Make it a little bit bigger. And of course, the bottom of this is going to be in shadows. That fold right there. And then the bottom right here. Now the light's going to start coming in right there, so we're going to leave that. We'll do it the back part here, and then the light's probably going to be catching it right up there. All right, and then I'm going to do these little folds right here. So right there, and right there. Okay. Now, if you want to add some highlights, what you can do is start a new layer. And what I do is change the blending mode to add this time. And then clip it again. I'm going to go to this chalk filler brush. Now, look at that. Really brightens it up. So, I mean, if we took the opacity down some on that, maybe looks a little bit better, probably. So I'm going to undo all of those. So I'm going to take the opacity down some. I'm going to make my brush big, and the light's going to be hitting it about right up here to about there. All right, and then maybe you can make a little bit right there. Okay, and I don't know if it's going to be hitting this, but we can give it a little bit right there. And if that's too bright for you, you could take that opacity down on it. So I think I will take it down a little bit. Okay, yeah, that looks good. So there you go. And you just keep working with it until you get it, where you really like it. I think I might take it down a little bit more. Yeah, all right. Okay, there's the hat. All right, let's do his shirt. So here's another trick I like to do sometimes. So if I had this red color right here, so I'd select that, and I'll go to my color palettes, and I'll go to harmony, so I've got it set for complementary right now, so that red right there should look good with this blue right here. All right, so what we can do is, since we got a hat, a shirt, and pants, we could change this complementary to triadic, which gives it 3. And now we have 3 complementary colors right here. So what we could do is make his shirt either green or blue. So maybe a shirt in blue. All right, and then what I'll do is go ahead and get our selection going. I need to start a new layer. We're going to pinch those together, and we'll do a selection. And this is going to go under the beard, so I'm going to drag that down to there because we got some beard coming over the shirt. All right, and then I'm going to go to select again. All right, and we're going to select this shirt. I'm going to go back to my chalk filler brush already there, and I'm going to take up the opacity, and I'm going to see what this shirt looks like. So So I'm probably going to desaturate it some. It's kind of bright. We got that. Now, one thing that I didn't do on the hat, which I've been doing with clothes, is going to start a new layer, hit multiply again, clip it, and then I'm going to a texture brush here, and given the, make that bigger, giving that shirt some kind of texture to it. I'm just kind of tapping it so you can see it's got some nice texture to it now. And then I want to brighten this up a bit. It's a little dark for my taste, so I'm going to take that adjustment, use saturation. We're going to brighten this shirt up a bit, and we're going to desaturate it. So I want these colors desaturated. I don't want them so bright and standing out. Let me see that shirt. Yeah, I think it's good. Leave that shirt about right there. All right, and let's see if we can get some, we'll put those together, and we'll do another layer on top. We'll hit multiply again, and we'll clip it, and then we'll go into our oil shadow brush. And then again, the light is going to be on the tops of the shirt, but here on the bottom is going to be darker. So right there, could be some light coming in here, so I'm going to do it down here at the bottom. So kind of like that. And then we'll get this fold of the arm. You can darken that up. All right, that's good. The collar right here is going to have a shadow under it. So I'm going to make my brush a little smaller. And we'll go right under that collar like that. And maybe right there. Possibly right here under the beard. Maybe a little bit right there. All right, and then we'll get some of these folds. The back part of this shirt's probably going to be in shadow. So we can get all of this. All right, I think it's looking good. Maybe along that right there. And then okay, I think that's good. And now we can do some lightness to it. So I'm going to put those together, start a new layer. This time we're going to set it to add, which is going to lighten it up. And then we'll clip it again. All right, and I'm going to do this chalk filler brush just to make it smaller. So wherever we think that light's going to be coming in at. So maybe right there on the top. Probably right here on his tummy. Maybe right there. Along the top of this sleeve right here, possibly. And then right along the top of this collar. I think that's good. All right, let me take the opacity down on it some. Yep, that's good. All right, so we got his shirt done. All right. And now let's do his pants. All right, so that other triadic color that we chose is this greenish color here. So let's see what that might look like with his pants. So we need to start a new layer. I'm going to put that highlights on that. All right, and then we're going to select the pants here. All the way to right there. Okay, make sure I'm on the correct brush, which is my chalk filler, and I am. Let's see what that green looks like. Blue, green, and red. Okay, then I'm going to go another layer on top, set it to multiply, clip it to the pants. I'm going to do this texture, make it really big, and just hit it with some texture just like that. All right, you know what? Last time I did that, let me go back. I want to adjust that color of those pants first. So I'm going to unsaturate it so it's not so bright. Here we go. That looks good. Should I lighten it or darken it? No, I think that's fine. Okay. Should we change it? I don't want him looking too funky. He's like a lot of colors going on. Maybe I'll leave it right there. That kind of aqua color I think is good. I think I like that. So it's kind of a greenish color, but not. It's more of a shade of blue. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. All right, and now I'm going to pick that light blue, and we're going to put those together. I'm going to, oops, I put his shirt together. Don't want to do that. There we go. Clip it. So we just get some texture in there. All right, and now we can put those two together. I'm going to do another layer. We're going to set it to multiply, and we're going to clip it. And now we're going to do the shadows. So I'm going to go to my oil shadows brush here. And then again, under the belt, under the belly here is going to be probably a little dark. The back size of the leg. And the back side of this leg. And probably along the ankles there. Yep, just like that. And then we can put those together, and we'll do one more, and we'll do it to add. Okay, and we'll clip it. And now we'll put in the highlights. We'll take the opacity down. So maybe along the edges like that. Maybe right there. Okay, just about like that. I think that's good. Okay, next is his slippers. Let's match his slippers to his hat color. So start a new layer. Freehand it. All right, and my chalk filler brush, which I'm on. All right, they don't match perfectly. Maybe we can fix it though. Let's go to Hue saturation. We'll bring up the saturation on that. We'll darken it some. Yeah, I think that's fine. They don't have to match perfectly. It's a shade of red. Okay, and then we're going to put some texture on it. So I'm going to start a new layer. Okay, we're done with layers. Let's put stuff together. Maybe his eye and his skin. New layer. We're going to multiply it. We're going to clip it. We're going to go to the texture basic brush. Put in some texture on these shoes. Okay. And then we're going to put those together. Make another new layer. Set it to multiply. Clipping mask. And now we're going to put in our shadows. I'm going to just be really careful and I'm going to put this shadow in on the bottom here. If I go over, I'll just erase some of it. So I'm going to do right there and right there. Alright, and then I'm just going to take my eraser tool and get rid of that part that I went over. And then if I wanted that to kind of blend in and not have such that hard line, I'll just go to my smudge tool and just kind of smudge that a bit. And you can see that really makes it blend in better, so we lose that hard line. Alright. Alright guys, I think that's going to do it. So I mean, you can keep working with this. If I wanted to put this little white tassel here, do I have any more layers? Yeah, I do. Put that on top of the hat, and I like the white color there, so I think the only thing I'm going to do is maybe choose a kind of a grayish color here, and maybe I'll go in with my pencil, maybe chalk filler, and I'll just kind of start shadowing that in a little bit. And I'm going to have to erase some of this that I'm going over, which is fine. So I'm just going to kind of do that, and then maybe make my brush a little smaller, and we'll kind of maybe make that a little bit darker, and then we'll start hitting these lines here, and then the back part of this. See what that looks like. Yeah, I like it. I think it looks good. All right, maybe clean up some of this. Anyway, those are some kind of new techniques that I've been fooling around with lately. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. Hope you've learned something. Again, check out the Patreon if you want to get all of the assets and stuff to play around with. And with that, if you haven't subscribed, I'd be happy for you to do that too. And with that, I will see you guys next time for another Procreate or Procreate Dreams tutorial. Take care and keep practicing.